Hello, families. Thank you for joining Cumberland Family Academy, all things kindergarten. I'm Dr. Lindsay Whitley, the Associate Superintendent for Communications and Community Engagement with Cumberland County Schools, and I'm thrilled to have you with us today. You know, when families and educators join forces, amazing things happen for our young people. Several years ago, as a district, we launched a new initiative called Cumberland Family Academy. And the whole goal of this program is to provide information and resources to support our families and help them be full partners in the education of our young people. So tonight's topic is all about kindergarten. We know that kindergarten is a very exciting milestone, and we want to make that transition as smooth as possible. So tonight, we'll cover everything that parents and families need to know about the registration process for the 2025-2026 school year, including what you need to know about enrollment, key dates, and upcoming kindergarten orientation events. So let's get started. I have a very special guest here with me. Joining me is Ashley Peterson. She is the beginning teacher support facilitator, and she's going to kind of help walk us through the kindergarten enrollment process. Thank you for being here, Ashley. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me. As a mom of a current kindergartner, I was where you all were last year, so I am happy to be here to help get everyone started smoothly and not to worry so much about all of those paperwork and documents that you need to get in. We're going to cover all the things.
You know, I'm just so excited when we think about the kindergarten process. There's so many things when you think about immunizations, registration forms, the school you're zoned to attend. It can be a little overwhelming. And so I think tonight is all about making sure our families have the resources and just know where to go to find out that information. I know your team, the academic services team, the entire district, our individual schools, they've been working very hard to prepare for this process. So let's jump into it.
Awesome.
All right. So let's start with the important details about kindergarten registration. But before we get there, we're calling it Kindergarten Showcase. Can you just tell me when we say Kindergarten Showcase, if a parent's watching right now, what is that?
Absolutely. So Kindergarten Showcase, it encompasses all of the events from the moment that you walk in during an orientation night at your local school all the way up to staggered entry in August. And what our goal is to make sure that you have the information you need for each part of that process. Because kindergarten enrollment is not just filling out that paperwork or getting them to school on that first day. Our process for that is a little bit different at the beginning of the school year. But Kindergarten Showcase encompasses it from the very beginning where you're walking into that local school and being welcomed by their amazing team all the way to the beginning of the school year. In August, when your baby, you're going to have to wave goodbye to them when you drop them off and they go into that school for their very first day of staggered entry.
So it sounds like between now and August, there are activities so families will be able to visit the schools. There will be information sessions. You talked about staggered entry. So what I like about the process we're using here in the school district is as we prepare your child to have a smooth entry into kindergarten, it's not just a one and done. You don't just have to go online, but there are so many opportunities for families to plug in and truly get all the information that they need to fully be prepared to have a successful kindergarten year.
Yes, absolutely. And we're trying to make sure that we get to different community events and especially throughout the summer, get that information out there. I've already been on to Fort Bragg to talk with military connected families. I have a meeting coming up for families that are currently enrolled in Head Start. So we are trying to reach out to our community stakeholders so that they are comfortable and prepared when they send their babies off to kindergarten.
That is awesome. So let's start with registration. I know that that's a process, and we have a very smooth and easy process for families. So kindergarten registration, that's coming up. At what age can a child begin kindergarten? And when registration begins, what do parents need to do to actually complete that process of enrollment?
So, biggest thing first, make sure your child is 5 on or before August 31st, 2025. As long as they are 5 on or before August 31st, 2025, they will be able to enroll in school.
Now, what if, okay, what if I have a child and they are going to be 5 on September 1st? Like, that's only a day later.
I know.
Can they, because I don't want them to be late. Like, can they get in? Is there like an exception for that?
Unfortunately, there is not, because we do have to have a point wherever. Someone's birthday is always going to be the day after the cutoff, and we have to have a cutoff. But luckily for you as a parent, that may be a little bit tough to find childcare or things like that, but it also gives your child another year of growth before they come to kindergarten. So there's still plenty of opportunities for your child to learn and grow.
That is awesome. So they have to be 5 years old on or before August 31st, 2025 to begin kindergarten. So yes. September 1st birthdays and September 2nd birthdays, your time is coming. You'll have to wait until the next school year to enroll, but it'll be here before you know it. So when we think about, okay, that's the age requirement. But now there's like some documents, there's some documentation. Yes. They have to upload it. They have to go to this website. As a parent, that can feel daunting.
Yes.
So tell us about what's needed and where do parents go to submit the information? Do they take it to the school? Do they go online? What's that process like?
Okay, so I had to do this last year and I was very nervous, and I like things to be right the way I like them. I like to have all my documents together first. But the cool thing is, so we only require a certified birth certificate, record of immunizations, your health assessment, and current proof of residency, along with the information that you're going to start in Infinite Campus. And the cool thing about Infinite Campus, even if you think you have all the documents and you may still need to get one more, you can start your application and it will save your spot and you can go back to it later. So don't feel overwhelmed that you have to do it all in one sitting. You can start it and come back to it, because I know you may need to get your child into the doctor to complete that health assessment form or get up to date on shots. So you can start the process but come back to it. And the Infinite Campus portal also has directions for parents in English and Spanish. So if you need some support or guidance on how to create an account or answer things in the platform, it is there for you.
So when we talk about Infinite Campus, now that's the student information system for the school district. And so evidently there is a portal that parents can log into and create an account. I'm just speaking as a parent. That seems like, those are a lot of different steps.
Yeah,
so
I get it.
I want to say, I believe y'all have a website. So
Absolutely.
we're going to put that on the screen right now for you. We're talking about all things kindergarten registration today. There are so many steps, but you can always pause this video. You can watch it again, or you can visit that website on the screen. And many of the things you're talking about, there are resources, there are frequently asked questions. There are so many resources to help you. So just to be clear, parents need to register their child. They're going to go to this website, go to Infinite Campus, and then, so that's something they don't necessarily have to go to the school for. They can go to this website and they can upload these documents, correct?
And yes, you are correct. And the other cool thing on our website is a tool called Find My School. So if you are not sure what school you are supposed to be enrolled at, you can go to that link and click on it and type in your address, and it'll give you the list of the schools in your area, and it'll populate it as elementary, then middle school, and high school. So if you are really into long-term planning, you can see that as well, but it'll give you their contact information too, because if there is a snag or if you just have a question, the schools are going to be able to answer those enrollment questions for you as well.
So if you're just joining us, thank you for joining us. We're talking about kindergarten registration, and I'm here with Ashley Peterson. And she and her team, they're planning for all of our rising kindergarten students who will be entering our schools this fall. And we're just wanting to make sure families have all of the resources that they need to have that smooth and successful registration and enrollment process. So thank you so much for sharing that information about all of the required documents that must be uploaded to register a child. So now that we've talked about that part, there's some orientation events.
Yes.
So I understand that district-wide, all of our elementary schools that have, kindergarten slots or what have you, there are some kindergarten orientation events. And so it sounds like this will be a fantastic opportunity for our families to learn more about their child's school before the first day. Can you tell us a little bit about those, what they entail, the dates, the times, just everything our families need to know?
Absolutely. And this is really the big kickoff event for our Kindergarten Showcase are our orientation nights. And they are so fun for family and caregivers to go to and students. So on April 22nd or May 1st, your local school will have a kindergarten orientation night between 5 and 7 p.m. On our website, there is a list with every school that has kindergarten as to what date and time that they chose. So when you go there, you'll get information about enrollment, and usually they have fun activities set up as well. Last year, my son was able to do a scavenger hunt around the school, so he got to see what classrooms were like, the library. He loves the library. The library, and of course we had to check out the playground because as a 5-year-old, exactly, you have to check out that playground equipment and see what it's like. But it's a great time for you to get to know the school and see that environment. Put some names to faces as to who the administrators are in the building and the teachers that will be in kindergarten.
So that's exciting. So you said either April 22nd.
Yes, sir.
Or May 1st. So
Yes.
That's Tuesday, April 22nd or Thursday, May 1st. So just to be clear, they need to visit the website to see which date the school selected.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And if you ever drive by your local schools, they will have it on the marquee starting pretty soon. So that'll be another friendly reminder. If you didn't mark it on your calendar, then you'll be seeing it as you drive to work or to the store each day.
As you anticipate entering school, especially for the first time, sometimes there can be a little bit of anxiety. So I can imagine that being able to attend these registration events, these orientation events, they will be able to go, kind of see what things are like, meet teachers, see, like you said, visit the school. Now the students can come as well?
Yes, students are welcome to come, and each school has something fun to set up. It may be like a scavenger hunt like my son completed at his school, or they could be going to a room and experiencing some of the little table activities that they have. Each school is in charge of setting up their orientation experience. And our school last year, they did a safari theme, and it was super cute. Yes, just so much fun. I don't want to give away too many of the themes, but it is going to be a fun time.
So it's just a fun experience. If you're just joining us, we're talking about everything you need to know about kindergarten and making sure that you're prepared on day one to have a smooth and successful school year for your child. On the screen right now, we do have a web address. Please visit that site for all things kindergarten. Learn about these upcoming orientation days. Once again, they're coming up on Tuesday, April 22nd and Thursday, May 1st. And if you visit that website on the screen, you will be able to find that listing of schools and figure out when your orientation is scheduled. So very exciting. As we think about this, how can parents and families begin to prepare their young scholars for this transition? Are there any tips we can offer to the viewing audience to do that?
Absolutely. One of the things that I would suggest is making sure when you go to our website to check out our kindergarten guide, because it's going to have a lot of information there about preparing your child for kindergarten and also what they're going to learn throughout that year. Now, don't take the information about what they're going to learn throughout the year and try to cram it into the summer, okay? But we want to make sure that our students are going to bed on time and getting up, they may be able to still sleep in a little bit in the summer, but closer to August, getting them on that regular routine of going to bed at a good time so that when they wake up early in the morning, they are prepared and ready to go to school and well rested. Another thing to do would be to practice different self-help skills, such as tying shoes or eating from their lunchbox if they're going to pack their lunch, and opening all those little things. Another one could be to practice just counting different things. If you're going up and down the stairs somewhere, count the stairs as you go up and go down. That's an easy way to get some math in. Or if you are not a member of our local library, I strongly suggest you do that, because they have activities like story times, and that would be an opportunity for your child to get with a group of to get with a group of children their own age and practice sitting and being quiet for a short amount of time, and also reading and listening to a story, and doing that at home too, making sure that you're reading to your child so that they are practicing those listening skills, giving them little jobs to do around the house with 1 or 2 step directions. It will help increase their feeling of preparedness when they get to kindergarten, because they know that they have a job to do, but also make sure that they are capable of listening to an adult and following through with it.
So it sounds like, you were so nice. You said that in such a nice way to the families,
Oh,
but it sounds like we're trying to encourage some independence.
Yes.
We're just trying to make sure, I know how my wife is about our sons when they were going to school, and that's your baby, and you have their snack, and you just want everything to just be great. But it sounds like just that routine, because the way I understand it, kindergarten, the way it was back when I went to kindergarten, it's a little different now. And when they get to school, they're actually beginning to learn. They're
Yes.
actually in a formal classroom setting, and they're actually being taught. And so I think what you're saying, if I hear you correctly, just being able to help prepare your child for that transition is so important. Like how they're gonna have to go to the restroom by themselves and be able to walk up the hall. And so all of this, just this idea of routine, I can just see how important that would be for the success of the child in kindergarten.
And all of those things you're practicing at home for self-help skills will relate to the academics later on. So by tying their shoes and opening up bags or packages, like we always use pinch, pinch, pull at our house, that's what we do, that increases their fine motor skills, so that when they go to write, they are going to be successful in that as well. So all of these things that we can work on at home is really going to set them up for success in the classroom.
Good deal. I just love these tips: tying shoes, zipping the backpack, having their lunchbox, carrying a tray, because they're going to have to think about it. They're going to be in the, some of our young people, they're so tiny, they're so small, but they're going to be in the cafeteria. They're going to get to carry their tray. So just whatever we can do with just encouraging that, at least the appropriate level of independence, and just getting them ready, I think is just going to be very, very, very helpful. So great tips. So speaking of preparation for our children, one thing that we want to keep in mind is our immunizations. So I know that there are very specific immunizations that students must have here in North Carolina, and specifically here in Cumberland County Schools to begin school. Can you talk about where we can go to find out more about those required immunizations?
Absolutely. So there are a couple places on our CCS website. When you go to the kindergarten page, there is a link to all of the health department information that you will need to submit. But also, if you go to the health services page, they list everything out step by step for you as well. And the big thing is that after enrollment, if you do not have everything completed, that you have 30 days to get that done. So you want to make sure, if you cannot get it done before enrollment for whatever reason, that's okay. You only have 30 days after enrollment to get it completed. So make sure to take some time to go to that health services website and look at the quick links, and it'll have all the information there for immunizations and your health assessment and things like that.
Excellent. So, if you're just joining us, we're talking about all things kindergarten, and there's so many steps, but here in Cumberland County Schools, we're here with families every step of the way. And so Once again, we want to share on the screen just a website that will help families navigate through this whole entire, kindergarten registration process, the immunizations, the upcoming orientation events. We have resources and supports in place to help families every step of the way. So please peruse that site so that you can be prepared. Something I want to say about the immunizations is that we don't want to wait until the last minute.
Right.
Because sometimes when you're trying to get in, if you wait until August to do that, many other families as well are waiting, and you don't want to be outside of that 30-day window, because it's my understanding if you don't have all of the immunizations in time by law, we do have to exclude students from school, and we don't want them to miss any learning. Definitely so not. If we can go ahead and go to the website, get those forms, even over the summer, work ahead of time to go ahead and make sure we have all of the medical records in place, I think that would be a great thing.
Absolutely. And that for that aspect alone, it is better to start early. So even if you don't get all the other paperwork in right away when you're making your account on Infinite Campus, make sure you have your doctor's appointments and things lined up, because our doctor's offices get very busy because they are having to fill out these forms for many, many other students. So that is one thing that if you are listening today and you're like, oh man, I should jump on that. Yes, call your doctor tomorrow and set up those appointments.
Before we go, are there any last closing remarks that you would like to share about Kindergarten Showcase 2025?
I just really encourage you to take the opportunity to attend the orientation night so that I know if as a parent, you might be feeling a little anxious as well about sending your baby off to school, so that you can get used to the school building that your child is going to each day, meet those teachers and the admin teams, and really take that opportunity to get accustomed to that school culture and ask questions. So if you are not sure about something, we have so many people in Cumberland County School that are willing to help and they want to support you. So don't feel nervous asking about questions, or if there's something confusing in the enrollment packet, ask, because we would rather you ask now than wait until later and maybe get in the spot where you didn't have those immunization records in time. So make sure you go to those orientation nights or reach out to your local school for help and with enrollment if you need it. And just to make sure that you are spending that time with your students this summer and working on those skills, not everything in that kindergarten book, because remember, the kindergarten teachers get the whole year to teach them those wonderful things, but just the skills to get them prepared.
So I'm excited. When you enroll your child in our school system, you're making a wonderful commitment. We have so many dedicated premier professionals and staff members who are here to really shepherd your child through every grade level. And we're already thinking about their graduation. I know in the meeting the other day, you said the graduation year. Can you share that with us?
Yes, this class of Cumberland County graduates will graduate in 2038. And I don't know about you, that makes me feel really old. So yes, 2038, these babies will be graduating from Cumberland County schools. And it's just so exciting that they are starting their journey with us.
So to the future class of 2038, we cannot wait to welcome you to our hallways, to our classrooms. We have teams of dedicated premier professionals who are waiting to serve you and your family with care and professionalism, and to make sure that they can be successful in school and ultimately in life. We really appreciate you once again, Ashley, for being here, and to our viewing audience, thank you so much for watching. Remember, all things kindergarten, everything that you need to know, you can find it on our website. Call our schools, call our Central Services office. We're here to serve and support you and the well-being of your child. Thank you again for joining us.